All right, good day, everybody, and welcome to Headline Hits with LW. It is Wednesday, September the 14th, 2022. Not a whole lot in the news today. I know the stock market crashed over 1,200 points yesterday. Very concerning to people, but not to the current administration. And we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Just in a little update, if you guys are looking for last night's show, I did take it down myself off of YouTube because some of the content that we were talking about, obviously, YouTube disagrees with and they love to censor. So it's all pushed over to Rumble. If you guys would like to catch it over there at Rumble, it was a great show last night with Darren with Restore Liberty. Great show last night. So if you did miss it, that's where it's at. It's over on Rumble. You can catch it there. All right, let's dive into the headlines today. Let's try our little display here. There we go. All right. I know some people are starting to enjoy this. It's still a little foreign to me, but it's working. So let's go for it. Let me adjust this camera because it's that drives me crazy. All right, there we go. All right, woke tard Emmys collapse to all-time low of 5.9 million viewers. Now, I get it. A lot of you are saying, "Well, Mike, I don't watch the Emmys, so I don't really care." Well, I don't watch the Emmys either. I never have. But this is what I'm telling you guys. This wokeness is backfiring on them when it comes to athletes, when it comes to professional sports, professional owners of any kind of sport, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, actors, you name it. This wokeness is starting to backfire on them and has been for quite a while, and they're paying the price. And guess what? What really hits them is hitting them in the pocketbook. So when you're not watching, when you're not buying, when you're not paying attention, these guys lose tens and hundreds of millions of dollars. So Monday's night 74th annual Primetime Emmy Awards dived 19% to an all-time low of only 5.9 million viewers, which again, I don't watch anyway. I could care less about these guys. A lot of them are just evil anyway. So some of the comments were, "Hey, remember when the psychopaths or when these people in the uh, entertainment media blame the all-time low on the China flu. In 2020, they had some of the lowest numbers, and of course, they did blame it on the sickness, and that's not the case. These guys went woke even back then, and they paid an awful price for it. Well, that will what will you shameless liars blame on this next time? End quote. So those are some of the quotes that came out about the low numbers from the Emmys. And again, doesn't really matter to me. I could care less. But what I'm telling you guys is us standing together and people choosing not to support these guys anymore. It does make a difference. What you do does make a difference. I just wanted to highlight that for you guys. So here's the next one. This one we've talked about a couple of times here at LWN, and I'm going to go into it a little bit here with you guys. So, White House shrugs off the threat of Chinese purchasing land near military bases. I'm going to watch the video here with you guys as well. So, hold on for just a second. The White House on Tuesday dodged questions about China concerning purchases of land in the United States, including the potential threat of scooping up property near military bases. So, John Kirby, the strategic coordinator of communication of President Joe Biden's listen to this, National Security Council. So he is the coordinator of communications for the National Security Council, shrugged off several questions from Kimberly Halibert, if I'm reading that correctly, the print's so small, the White House correspondent for the English about Chinese recent land purchases during the daily press briefing. So listen to his comment in this video. Listen to this. It's just staggering.
what was the lit match here that started this. It's possible that there could be some notion by some leaders that Russia's preoccupied, but again, I think we need to be careful speculating on that.
Here it comes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Chinese investors were the most active buyers of U.S. real estate last year among foreigners, often paying cash for farms, homes above market rates, in many cases pushing American buyers out of the markets. At the same time, housing is becoming a crisis. There's an increasing number of homelessness in the United States. Black ownership of homes is below what it was in the 1970s. I'm wondering, given the fact that known adversary, in the case China, foreign buyers are buying up U.S. real estate, in some case farms around military installations. Is this on the administration's radar, and what is being done perhaps to study this or to protect Americans from making sure that homes remain affordable and so on?
Okay, so I know it was hard to hear. I've got the volume turned up all the way. That's as high as it goes. It's even hard for me to hear what she's saying because she's so far back in the press box there. So it's hard to say. So let me paraphrase what she's asking. She's asking this coordinator of communication for the Security Council, is it on the radar for the current administration that China, which is an adversary of the United States, is out there buying up farmland? They're buying up residential homes. They're buying up property near military bases while Americans are struggling to find housing. She even mentioned Black America. The home purchases are down since 1970, which I don't even believe any of that nonsense. But she's concerned about it, and she's saying, "Is there anything that the current administration is doing to protect the American people?" And here's his answer.
I think the question of home ownership is a little bit out of my swim lane, but
Particularly when it comes to around military installations.
what I will tell you is that the president has been nothing but clear about our concerns about Chinese unfair trade practices and economic practices. I understand that, ma'am, but
buying up land around military
yeah,
installations.
I'm probably not the right person to ask about home ownership here in the United States.
Okay, so he twists the question. She was asking about how important is this to the national security of the nation. This administration has gone out and called us a security risk to democracy and to the nation's security. And when I mean us, I mean the conservative movement, I mean MAGA, I mean Trump supporters. They all grouped us into one bunch and say and are been quoted saying that we are a national security risk. But yet China purchasing property around military bases is not a national security risk. Why am I bringing this up? Because I've already done another little headline hits on this. There are people out there claiming that China has the capability, and I don't discredit it because I have no way of proving it or disproving it, but China has the capability of doing data collection from military bases once they get within a certain proximity of a military base, that they have technology and equipment that they can actually data capture information. This administration don't care. It's not even on their radar. All right, next headline. This one I found odd. Okay, so Joe Biden brings James Taylor to celebrate uh, Inflation Reduction Act as stock market plummets over 1,000 points. So here you go, folks. The White House on Tuesday invited musician James Taylor to help Democrats kick off a celebration of the Inflation Reduction Act on the South Lawn. The aging folk musician performed a song "Fire and Rain" to the flood of Democrats on the South Lawn to celebrate Biden's multi-billion-dollar green energy spending bill disguised as the Inflation Reduction Bill. Now, we've talked about this here at LWN a couple of times. I'm looking up because the print is so hard to read sometimes. I got to look up to read the print. So sorry about that. So they put in this package, the Green New Deal, and quite a bit of it. And it's disguised as an inflation reduction bill. We talked about it here on LWN. It's not anything to do with reduction of inflation. They're actually throwing gas on the fire, and I want to point that out. And now this guy makes some wonderful quotes here. And he quotes says, "This is a time when the world needs to cooperate more than ever before, perhaps more than even since the Second World War. The world needs to get together and respond to this climate crisis." End quote. Now, I'm not going to read any further. If you guys want to read the rest of this article, you can catch it in Breitbart. But there you have it. This idiot right here is telling people that we have a world climate crisis. What's the crisis? I would like somebody to come on my show and explain to me what is the climate crisis, because I don't see a crisis. I don't understand it. All I see is this an opportunity for the New World Order, for the Economic Forum to get a grasp around the throat of not only the American people, but people around the world. All right, next headline. Let's talk about this one. Tim Ryan, we need to kill and confront extremist Republican movement. Now, this one here is very concerning for me personally. Representative Tim Ryan, a Democrat from Ohio, running for the open U.S. Senate seat in Ohio, said Tuesday on MSNBC's Morning Joe that the exhausted majority, which would be the Democrat Party, needed to, quote, kill and confront the extremist Republican movement. Co-host Willie Geist said, "What is your message to Ohio Republicans in this general election who may look at J.D. Vance and say, I don't like the way that he's running his campaign. Maybe I don't like this guy," and is giving you a look. So this is what he says. Ryan said, "I'm one of the most bipartisan members of Congress. The last two Congresses, I have been at the top 10% of the most bipartisan." What does that mean? That means they work together with the Republicans. Whoop-de-doo. "I want to work across the aisle. Look, Democrats aren't right on everything, and I'm willing to sit and have conversations about how we can move out of this age of stupidity and into the age of," listen to this, "reconciliation and reform." Now, what is the Democrat Party talking about when they talk about reconciliation? Well, remember, they would love to give people reconciliation checks for slavery that was over 400 years ago. They want a reconciliation of everything, anybody that was ever wronged in any time period except for American people. And this is just crazy. Their policies, again, I talk about them over and over and over again, but their policies they cannot stand on and they cannot run on. So what else does he say? He continues to say some of those answers will come from the Republicans, not the extremists that we are dealing with on every single day. We've got to kill and confront that movement. But working with the normal midstream Republicans is that's going to be really, really important. So again, they're tagging us, they're labeling us. Anybody who supports Donald Trump, anybody who supports MAGA, anybody who claims to be an ultra MAGA, they want to destroy the movement. They want to label us and they want to come after us. So just letting you guys know, throwing that out there. That's your Ohio representative. Just letting you guys know. All right. Here's something very interesting. Majority of voters say Biden is dividing the country. Boy, I couldn't agree more than 110% on that. Most voters believe the resident, Joe Biden, has divided the country despite promising to unify it. A survey from the Convention of States Action Group founded. So 85.7% of voters expressed the belief that Biden has indeed divided the country during his time in office. Now, remember, this is the guy that ran his campaign on the fact that he was a uniter and not a divider, that he was the president of all people, not just Democrats, but Republicans as well. But less than a month ago, he came out on stage with his little black and red background. It looked like a Hitler at the pulpit, went out and isolated over 80 million Americans and said that they were the problem, that they were a threat to democracy. So the great uniter, Joe Biden. All right, let's hit the next headline. Durham, the pit bull is back on it. So Igor Danchesko, I don't even know I'm pronouncing the name right, but it doesn't matter. Source for fraudulent Steele dossier was paid by the FBI informant between 2017 and 2020. Now, what is this all about? Well, Durham, if you guys want to catch the article, you can catch it in Breitbart, obviously. Durham is back on it. He is now prosecuting Igor, if I'm saying his name properly, but he was a paid informant by the FBI, and he is the one who helped start the false dossier that said that there was Russian collusion between Donald Trump and Russia under the investigation Operation Crossfire Hurricane. And they claim that they have, this is so disgusting, they claim that they have P tapes. You can't make this stuff up. P tapes where Trump was in a hotel with prostitutes in Moscow and asked them to pee on a bed that President Obama had slept on. I mean, this story just gets wilder and wilder. But anyway, I wanted to highlight this today and let you guys know that Durham has not disappeared. He's still out there. I believe, in my opinion, there's going to be a lot of stuff that he starts bringing out here in the very near future. So you guys can catch that on Breitbart if you want to read any more. But to summarize the entire article, that's basically what it is he's getting ready to put him on the stand, and he's got witnesses to come against Igor, whatever his name is, and testify against him. So we'll see where that takes us. So here we have it. The resident in charge, Joe Biden, not worried about inflation or stock market plunge. He quote says, "We're going to be fine." Are we, Joe? Are we going to be fine? Resident Joe Biden shrugged off the latest unexpectedly high inflation numbers on Tuesday, even as they triggered a sudden plunge in the stock market. "I think we're going to be fine," end quote. Biden told reporters Tuesday night when he was asked about the disappointing data released earlier in the day. So earlier in the day, and I reported on this yesterday, that some of the numbers that came out for inflation actually went back up. So they've been bragging about the 0.5% that it dropped in July, and here it went and bounced back up. And we're seeing the highest number of inflation in over 40 years. These guys are taking a victory dance, inviting a folk song singer performer to come to the White House and sing for the reduction bill, Inflation Reduction Act, which is nothing more than gas on the fire. Inflation is continuing to soar. They're taking a victory lap for July for it dropping just a couple of percentage points. They're taking a victory lap because gas dropped 75 cents in July as well, even though they are, and I want to be clear, the Democrat Party and this administration are the ones who are responsible for the inflation. They're the ones that are responsible for the high gas prices. Their administration killed the Keystone Pipeline on day one. Their administration are the ones that opened the southern border. Their administration are the ones that killed fracking. They are responsible for the supply chain issues. They're responsible for all of this stuff, folks. Every bit of it. There is no victory lap here. If you're a Democrat watching this today, shame on you for supporting these guys because there is no victory in this. It is nothing more than going from America first to America last. That's it. Fact check that. All right. Let's talk about this. This is my number one fact check. Woo! Here we go. The dirty Bidens. My son Hunter. True fact. Hunter Biden secured 1.5 billion with a B. $1.5 billion from the CCP following China trip from then VP Joe Biden. I'm going to leave with this today. True fact, Hunter Biden inked a $1.5 billion deal with a subsidiary of a Bank of China just 12 days after he visited China with his father, then Vice President Joe Biden. Guess what? Fact check that. Love y'all. Have a great day. And we will definitely catch you on the next one tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.